I think I'm an artist. Yeah, but you didn't grow up an artist. Yeah, I guess I didn't, but I still make art. Wait, so you call this art? Do I make art? I guess not. But I am a filmmaker and I make films, and I guess films are art. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I am an artist. Who said you were a filmmaker? I mean, I don't know. I make films. I'm a filmmaker. So have you ever shot on film? I mean, no. Oh, cool. But you went to film school though, right? No, I went for marketing. Well, can you tell me where I would have seen your work? I mean, you probably wouldn't have. Have you ever worked on big sets? Have you ever worked with big crews? Do you even know how to light that? Why would anyone ever even listen to you? Okay. Do you even know what you're doing? No, I'm just saying you don't sound like a filmmaker. I mean, I'm just figuring it out still. Well, you're definitely not gonna figure it out here. You're gonna look stupid. I mean, I guess you're right. I constantly find myself battling that voice inside my head that tells me I do not belong here. And honestly, sometimes I probably don't, but no, that's not true. See what I mean? But yeah, I guess sometimes it is true. It's this feeling when I get onto set, I am the only one here that actually doesn't know what I'm doing at all. It's like I'm crashing a wedding trying to enjoy myself, but deep down, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that no one figures me out. You start to feel like you're an imposter, you really feel like you aren't supposed to be here. My focus will drift away from the project, and my focus will now be on making sure that I don't fail in front of all these people who have been living and breathing filmmaking since before they could walk. That wasn't me. I picked up a camera 4 years ago, as I was about to graduate college, and no, it wasn't film school. Do people on set know I didn't go to film school? And do they know I actually learned everything that I know from YouTube? Does that make me a less sophisticated filmmaker? I was never a film buff. Do they know I'm only 26 years old? This gaffer, this dude is 50 years old. He has definitely seen some stuff in his day. Look how rough those hands are. Mine are so soft. He's probably been on 10,000 shoots. Why would he listen to a word that I have to say? I'm sure he knows that I know nothing about this RE Sky panel right here. Was that crap on my website really good enough to trick this director into hiring me for this shoot? What am I doing here? These are actually real thoughts that are passing into my head, pretty much any time I've ever been on any set filming with other people. And correct me if I'm mistaken here, but I'm sure that you feel this exact same way as me. This is the imposter syndrome that we're dealing with here. And the imposter syndrome can be deafening. It can so quickly scare you back into a comfortable place, never growing, never learning, never experiencing new things that are going to make you a better filmmaker. Because the idea of failing in front of all of these people that actually know what they're doing is going to stop you dead in your tracks. And it's all especially intimidating within the film industry. There's an overwhelming amount of information and knowledge that you need to start to understand. And the unfortunate part of that is that you never really begin to learn and understand these things until you're in the actual moments themselves. In your head, you make up this world where you're surrounded by perfect people who have made perfect choices and decisions to get to the point where they're at today. And you really do think these people were born to do this and I wasn't. Well, I have some good news and I have some bad news for you. The bad news is that this feeling of the imposter syndrome is never going to go away. At least it hasn't for me or most of the people that I know. But that leads me into the good news. And the good news is that literally everyone feels this way. Everyone, I swear to God. You might have thought you were the only one, right? Yeah, me too. But no, apparently we're all imposters. Me, you, Joe the Grip, Jeff the director, other J names who are in the film industry. The years that I've been doing this, I've been deathly afraid of people finding out that I don't actually ever know what I'm doing. But just a few months ago, I started to realize no one knows what they're doing. No one knows what they're talking about. Like everyone's kind of anxious all the time. So here's a quick story for you. A couple months ago, I reached out to the cinematographer in Philly, who is probably one of the best cinematographers in Philly and someone who I admire a ton, and I offered my assistance on any of his upcoming shoots. So time went by and a shoot came up. He called me up. It's like, hey, like, want to drive down to DC with me to help me film whatever it was he was filming? I said, sure. So I rode down to DC with him, and on the ride, we got to talking. And this incredible cinematographer who has worked for Adidas, the NFL, the NBA, a ton of awesome brands, literally said to me, yeah, like, I always get anxious before a shoot. Like, I kind of like never really know what I'm actually doing. Like, I'm kind of just making things up as I go. And that moment for me was like, oh, like, wait, you feel that way? Like, that's how I feel. And like, you've done all this cool stuff already. Like, I thought for sure you knew exactly what you were doing, exactly what you were talking about. But no, here's this like elite cinematographer who feels the exact same way that I do, like you do, like probably most of us do. And then like through the months, I continued to notice that other people were saying these things and feeling this way. And even Roger Deakins, who is arguably one of the best cinematographers in the world, literally talked about how anxious he gets before every single shoot still. And he's like, was he like 70 years old and has shot some of the greatest films that you and I have ever watched? The moment I realized like, oh, like everyone kind of feels insecure is the moment where I started to approach my career differently and like feel better about like these feelings and thoughts that I was having. Like you become so busy trying to not look like a fool that you forget that everyone kind of had to go through this process of looking like a fool to get to where they are today. Like everyone has to start not knowing how to properly expose an image. Like most people start not even knowing how to like turn their camera on. So even after hearing people's stories and learning all this, I've determined that there's really no actual cure for the imposter syndrome. Like I'm still feeling it every single day, but I've learned that the best remedy for it has been knowing that literally every single other person in my shoes or above me is feeling the exact same way. Like these thoughts have just become so much less suffocating for me to know that I'm not alone in dealing with this. So knowing that other people are struggling with this, I found that the best thing that you can do for yourself and that I have done for myself is just to be transparent and open and honest about what you know and what you don't know and what you're feeling in that time for most cases. Like sometimes you're going to be in a situation where you're just surrounded by water and there's nowhere to go, and you can either fake it and mess up everything completely, or you can be honest with one of your crew members and be like, hey man, like I don't actually know how to light this moonlight scene at all. Like, can you help me out? Now I'm not saying like go around like posting a memo before a shoot, like dear everyone, like just so everyone knows, like, I don't actually know anything. Like, for some instances, you have to act like you know what you're doing, and you have to try to act as confident as you can, just so, like, the client is like, okay, cool. And just so that people are continuing hiring you. So I, like, hope people still hire me, even though they know this. So make sure that you're just being honest with yourself and honest with the people that you're working with, and it just creates this, like, easier culture to work within. Was that like as relieving for you as it was for me, for you to hear that? I hope it was. Like I even feel like an imposter sitting right here in this chair talking to you on YouTube. Like what do I know? Like to me, I'm just like still this kid that hasn't really experienced much, and I'm like trying to give my personal experience to other people because I like guess I think it's valuable. Like I'm not sure, but I don't know, you're either watching this thinking I have all the answers, or you're watching this like, this dude sucks. But I doubt if you've made it this far in the video, you think I suck. So thank you. But I don't have all the answers, and I don't think I ever will. Like, you have no idea how sweaty I am right now. Like I need to be sponsored by like some kind of deodorant company or something for these videos, because I'm just like I have to wear a sweatshirt, not because I'm cold, but I'm wearing a sweatshirt so you can't see the sweat stains on this gray shirt that I'm wearing underneath. Like it's bad. But yeah, just know that you are where you are because you deserve to be where you are. Like, even if you think you don't know what you're doing, like, you're obviously doing something right. So just keep doing that thing. Like, we are all, me, you, all of us, we're all just making it up. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I love you. Bye.
I'm gonna go get dry clothes on and come say bye to you guys.
How you feel?
Tired. Tired.
Feel good.
Yeah.